Hi, it's Nathan Lamey here from Urban Boxing Studios. Today we're going to talk about hooking technique, but we're going to talk about hooking technique from a bias and focus on injury prevention. This video was requested by one of our members, Luke, who has an existing cruciate ligament injury and is struggling to load and send and deliver his punches correctly due to his injury. So we're going to explain how knee injuries might be caused through bad hooking technique, and we're going to talk about how we can correct that to make sure injuries don't occur. Okay, first let's talk about why bad hooking technique causes injuries. First and foremost, I don't boast to be a doctor. I have no medical qualifications, but I have an understanding how these injuries can happen. So typically, ligament injuries in your knee happen when your foot is rooted and planted and your knee rotates around a planted foot. So for example, in football or rugby, you might catch a ball, your foot might get stuck in the ground, and a tackle may take or rotate your knee over a planted foot. Now, if we think about boxing technique, in particular our lead hand hook, specifically, we are rotating around what can be at times a planted foot. So it's really important that we get our technique right to make sure that that rotation doesn't cause damage when we punch. Okay, first let's talk about what causes the problem. Okay, I see this a lot of the time when new people come to the studios here. I see our feet sitting on one straight line, okay? I also see when people are hooking, I see them loading to send a hook and rotating with no rotation in the lower half of their body. Okay, like we said, rotation through with your foot planted is what causes the injury. But I see this a lot. So I see people having a lot of rotation in the top half of their body and zero work from the ground up. Okay, now we need ground force to generate power and momentum through our punch. So let's get the ground, the stuff that happens on the ground right first. Okay, so first things first, we want to have our stance shoulder width apart. We want our stance heel toe aligned. So if you can see the center line on the floor, you'll notice my toe is one side of the line and my heel is the other side of the line. Okay, that gives our hips room to be able to rotate. Okay, at the ground level, we now need to take our weight distribution and we need to load into the balls of our feet. You'll notice when I load into the balls of my feet, my heels raise off the floor ever so slightly. Okay, this is important. We're not on our tiptoes. I'm just on the balls of my feet and raising my heels slightly. Now, the importance of this is that if my heels are loaded, I can't rotate. If I take the weight into the balls of my feet, it's a lot easier for my hips to rotate. Okay, so from ground up, we're going to go shoulder width apart, heel toe aligned, and we're going to take the weight onto the balls of our feet. The next thing that we need to look at is making sure that the top half and the bottom of half of our bodies work together when we hook it. Okay, so we need, like I said, we need ground force to generate momentum and power through our technique and our punch, okay? So the first thing that we're going to do, we've got our feet heel toe aligned, we've got the weight on the balls of our feet, and we're going to load before we send our punch. So our first movement's a loading movement. Notice my hip, my knee and my rear foot rotate to load. From this position, we are then going to rotate the top and bottom half of our body through our punch. So my shoulder, my hip and my knee are going to point towards the target line. So when we hook, we're going to load, we're going to rotate through our technique. Now, the direction that my punch is traveling is this way. So my body has to rotate to point towards the target. okay? And when I say my body, my whole body is rotated towards the target and then back into my guard, okay? One more time at speed. We load and we release and back into guard. We load and we release back into our guard. So in terms of the technique and the delivery of the technique, we're making sure everything is working together. That takes all of the load off our knee, and that's what's going to prevent injury and damage to the ligaments in our knee. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope it stops you getting injured. More importantly, I hope it gives you the confidence to be able to commit to the technique of a lead hand hook, and making sure that you can enjoy boxing and enjoy our classes, in particular for Luke. Luke can get involved in our classes, and when he's working the heavy bag, he can actually put some power into his punches without fear of causing any damage. Please like, share, comment and subscribe to our channel. We post daily. Make sure that you press the notifications bell, then you'll be first to know when new videos are posted online.